What's going on, everyone? DJ's here, bringing you another awesome replay today. But before we get into the game, I wanted to have a real talk with y'all. You see, this wasn't the first time I recorded this game. I actually recorded it last week. But when I was going through it, the edits, make it look good, whatever, I looked like shit. I looked really haggard. Haggard. Not Hagrid. Not that stupid idiot giant with a spider fetish from Hogwarts. Anyway, it looked really bad. I was very sick last week. As some of y'all know, I've been working 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. On my one day off, I spend time finding matches, making videos, doing edits. That's another like 8 to 10 hours. So I basically have no time off. And it was really reflecting on my health. I mean, I'm too young to be going through these health scares. They thought about sending me home early. My family was concerned. So I've decided I'm not going to make any more videos until I get back home to the States, work in my normal work schedule, and I feel a lot better. Some of y'all are thinking, okay, but why are you making this video right now? Well, a couple reasons. One, I feel pretty damn good today, thank God. It took me a while to recover and I feel really good, so I figured I'd make this video. Number two, I really enjoy making these videos. I like watching people improve and become better. Alright, that sounds too cheesy. This is a real talk, we'll be talk real. 50% of that is, I'd say, altruism. I love seeing people improve, I like helping people out and be the best they can be. 50% other is selfishness. Man, I like the attention. Let's not kid ourselves, yeah. So 50% altruism, 50% selfishness, 69% concentrated power of will. So, anyway, that's enough of a tangent. I just want to let you know that I'm going to stop making videos for a few weeks until I get back to the States around April 20th. Blaze it. Anyway, that's enough of a tangent. Let's get on to the game. So the map for this match is Tordread, which was in the Global League map pool for Fog for a few months. I'm not sure if it still is. Basically just a large-ass map. Got a cyclone-ish road going on here. Typical one base and airport versus two base, mirrored on the bottom. Very open map. There's a few a defensive force for the weak sides, and a few mountains for blocking. But other than that, very wide and open, especially in the middle. It's basically, for your weak side, typically you are closer to your enemy's comm tower. This is basically a comm tower swap map, where you're expected to get your opponent's comm tower and your opponent's expected to get yours, because the comm tower is closer to the enemy's one base, one airport side. So their weak side will typically take control of the comm tower just by virtue of being much closer. Sometimes I see where the strong side tries to prevent the opponent from taking the comm tower so they can keep two comm towers. You don't really see this as frequent in high-level play. It's kind of difficult to do that and expend a lot of resources on the side and basically give up the entire middle, which is much more important anyway. Because a lot of properties here, very open. HQs are somewhat vulnerable, not completely, but somewhat. So typically you want to fight over here, get the properties. If you're on a strong side, you want to get over here, go to these properties over here, and then sweep back to the middle. You don't want to overextend. This is one of those maps where it's an overextension trap. The most contested properties are actually probably this one right here, this property right here, this property right. So these two center properties, this property, and this property. Typically the weak side might take control of this early, but usually the strong side eventually gets it. Up here, you want to prevent these two strong sides, prevent this property from becoming under this green control over here. So typically you're going to see a lot of fights around there. So you don't want to forego the middle, going crazy over the comm towers. The bounds are really good for vision. You can put an infantry here. For the strong side over here, you want to get control of this mountain so you get great vision. You don't really need recons on the side. You really need them in the middle because there's so many roads. Easy to move around. Recons are really good on this map because they can go so far on these roads. But typically you don't need them on the side anyway because the mountains are great vision. And great for putting artillery behind. Like I said earlier, you can put, if you're on the defensive, you can put artillery in these two forests to make sure that you control this comm tower. That's why it's kind of fruitless to try to prevent everything, to prevent your enemy from getting the comm tower, because artillery pretty easy locked here. Basically, from what I said, I want to reintroduce audience interactivity into this. So just give a thought. This is tier 2, so take your picks. What do you think is the best CO in this? The options are Grit, Eagle, Max, Olaf. Okay, there's your pause. So actually, Olaf was banned because he's clearly the best CO since it's a large map, a lot of plains and forests around. I mean, there's a lot of roads as well, but around here it's very difficult to reinforce because of all the plains and forests. So Olaf was outright banned. For that reason, you just got Eagle, Grit, and Max. And I would say Max is the best here because most of the fight's going to be around the middle anyway, and he's so good on these roads and stuff, just the extra movement and whatnot. The lack of artillery kind of sucks on the weak side because your artillery aren't as good, but artillery really aren't that great on this map unless they're on the sides, and they can't really transition well to the middle. Hence why Grit dropped down to tier 2 rather than being broken tier. Because it's a little hard to shift all your forces from the sides to the middle once you win. So if you win the sides, congratulations, Grit. You're expected to win the sides, but shifting in the middle where all the actual fighting matters is a little more difficult for Grit, which is why he was moved down. So I'd say Eagle's probably not as good as Max, but probably better than Grit. I'd say Eagle has the advantage here, but you never know because Grit's OP, and he's got some nice little buttons he can press, and artillery are just really crazy when bunched up. This is also kind of a stall war, because Eagle and Grit both love stally games that keep going on, and they build up their units. Because Eagle has a superpower that the more units the better, because he can attack twice, whereas Grit, once you get that artillery wall, impenetrable thing, he just shoots down like 20 units a turn. Like, once you get so many artillery, like, it's impossible to push through. So both of these like stall, although one likes stall more than the other. I'm not going to say which one to ruin the surprise, but one of them is even more stally than the staller. So we'll find out in this match which CO is more stally. This is kind of why I picked this match, because you very rarely see this matchup, Eagle versus Grit. I don't think I've ever seen this matchup before in my whole Intent for Is by Web career, which is like 8 months. So that's pretty interesting matchup right there. So as far as the players go, we got Izanagi007 on one side, and he was in one of my other replay games. Him versus Kantbai on Splintered. Close game, crazy game. I like Izanagi because he's got a little unconventional playstyle. He gets really aggressive, like throwing units in, smashing things. Kind of goes in with reckless abandon, which I really appreciate. Kind of see some of myself in there. He has a little more reckless than me even, so I kind of appreciate that. Just a very entertaining player. But he chose Grit for this, which was interesting to me because it doesn't really match his personality type. So I really want to see what he did with Grit. On the other hand, we have the more calculated Tordread. And I just like saying dread in that weird voice. Actually, I'm feeling personal today, so I'll share with you a funny story, at least I think it's funny. So a few months back, when I was first starting this YouTube channel, and I was using the weird voices, and some are like, what's the weird voice? Stop the weird voice. Talked to my girlfriend, and I've been dating for like 2.5 years. And I was like, these people don't like the weird voices, but I think it's like part of my persona, right? She's like, oh yeah, you've been doing the weird voices for forever. I was like, wait, forever? She's like, yeah, you said you did the weird old man voice on one of our first dates. I think it was the 3rd date. And I was like, I did a weird man voice on a date? She's like, yeah, you like just suddenly broke it out. And I was like, okay, I didn't even realize that or remember that. That kind of gave me a moment of clarity. I was like, I'm subconsciously doing these weird voices on my flirtation game for dating that early? That shows how much of my personality is in these weird voices. So at that moment, I was like, alright, it's settled. I'm more defiant. I'm doing these weird voices for forever. If it's that much more part of my personality that I'm doing in my freaking dating life, then it's a big part of me. So I thought that was hilarious that I actually threw out like, weird thing in dating. Still, you know, we're in a relationship, so clearly it wasn't enough to scare her off. So just interesting how sometimes you overlook things that are a larger part of yourself than you realize in the first place. So anyway, weird voices are here to stay, bottom line. Anyway, Tordread is a very calculated player. I've played him a few times. He's a very smart player. I've lost to him the first 2 times, and I've won the most 2 recent times because I sort of figured him out. He's very patient, and he likes to set the game on his own terms, which makes Eagle a perfect pick for him because he wants to stall it out and then attack on his own terms. So you kind of have to throw him off guard. You have to like smash him where he least expects it, and then make him reactionary. But he's a very calculated player. He won't attack you outright like Izanagi typically would. So it's kind of a clash of completely different personalities. But we have both stally COs, so it was a very interesting matchup, and I just kind of had to see it. I didn't even see the game, and I knew it was going to be good just by seeing the CO matchup and just by seeing the player matchup. Like, you just know it's going to be a good one. So Tordread, in terms of rating, Tordread is like 1350, was top 5, probably still is top 10. I think he dropped off a little bit. Fog player, very good. Izanagi, I think he's like top 15 maybe top 10, I'm not sure. You know, both high quality Fog talent right here. So this is going to be a good match. Anyway, without further ado, finally let's get into the game itself. Let's roll. We got the infantry builds going on. You got to go for the bases. You know the deal, folks. We're just going to skip through this. If you don't go for that early base, something's wrong with your brain. There's nothing much else to it. I think both of these players got a little cautious about the comm tower. I think it scared them a bit. So we got an early grid artillery. Makes sense for Izanagi. I actually would go for a recon here first, and then an artillery after. Although, I guess you can go for an artillery first, then recon right after, because they'll catch up to one another. So I guess it's interchangeable. It's a small nitpick, just to get vision to make sure nothing's attacking first before you get the artillery. But, you know, it's great. Whatever. And, of course, it's going on the defensive side where it can plop it in one of those forests. And we got a recon, early recon from Tordread on his weak side as well, just to make sure that there's no funny artillery going on over here. Just try to block him. Both things make sense. Skips this cap over here is great, I guess, because just very scared that Tordread's going to stop it. But like, both of them are very scared that the opponent is going to stop it, but there really is no concern, like no reason to. That's why I think like you can't really stop it for the whole game. It's very rare that that actually happens. So I think it's a little overreactionary to be so scared of that comm tower. So we got double recons from Tordread. Recons, like I said earlier, incredibly strong on this map. Vision is key in the center. That's why you see him putting it in the center run, not over here on the side where you can just get vision via this mountain. So, although this recon is in the side, but it's probably just to scout for artillery, and then it'll probably shift over to the center if I had to guess. So, you know, kind of conservative builds, scared that the opponent's going to attack the comm tower. Got another artillery going on the strong side at the bottom for Izanagi. Oh, he's one of those types that also like uses the black boat and like ends turn for that. Just one of those OCD people. I don't do that. Yeah, so we got the recons. Yep, shifting towards the middle, like I thought. Building an early copter because I guess he's Eagle and he wants to roleplay, putting on his little goggles. So Izanagi seems like he's splitting his forces, controlling the sides at this point. He's not really focused on the center. Putting artillery here, artillery there. Going for the pincher strike on the side, although they're not really meeting, so it's not a pincher strike. Just going for the sides. Not very much of a center presence. I guess Tordread doesn't have much of a center presence yet either, but got an early anti-air. I like that. Actually, right at the same turn as the B-copter, so that was a very smart move. It's great. Like, all you really need as grid is anti-air, artillery, recons, infantry. That's about it. You know, like maybe a rocket or missiles if you're feeling feisty, but like that's all you really need. So I really like that. Very smart move on Izanagi's part. Had the foresight, acting proactively. Like to see that. So we got the recons duking it out. I don't want to see a recon fight go on here. I swear to God, I'll have an aneurysm. They'll send me back to the hospital. So got an early tank over here on the side, strong side. Typical stuff so far. Nothing really that's eye-popping. I like the early anti-air though. That's one of the things I like most so far. I hope to see more artillery down here from Izanagi so he starts getting a ball of artillery rather than splitting the sides over there. Oh, okay. I would have liked 2 artillery over here and 1 infantry probably, because, and then shift them towards the middle, maybe plop 1 here, plop 1 there. So I'm not completely sold on that, but you know, whatever. Kind of baiting this, I guess. Gets a free hit off on that infantry because the artillery does not cover attacks on it. So, see, that's what you want to do. You want to get control of that mountain right there. It's very critical. You don't even need a recon, so that's a little redundant. Although he sees that there's no artillery in range because of it, goes in for the free hit. Knowing that Grit probably has no tanks to actually punish that, and there's no artillery in range. Getting a nice massive infantry over here going towards the middle to reclaim what's his. Goes in for this early copter attack with reckless abandon, which is not really, you know, Tordread's normal MO. So I was a little confused by that. Usually you want to move your recon first, see what's going on, maybe move to this forest, maybe move to one of the cities. Little does he know that there's an anti-air, smart anti-air by Izanagi just waiting to blast that B-copter. So that early anti-air is already paying off dividends. That turn, what, 8 anti-air? Yeah, so it was in the nice critical Aegis window of early anti-air, so I love that play. And looks like Tordread is already going to start amassing, proliferating rather, all these T-copters, as you should. You want small, fast units if you're playing against Grit. Tanks, T-copters, recons, that's basically all you need, in infantry of course. You don't want to build your own artillery, it doesn't really make much sense. But basically right here, free kill off. With the tower, I believe it is a one-hit KO for all tanks 100% of the time. However, playing Eagle, who has plus defense, I think that was actually a roll, whether that T-Copter dies, with the weak grit artillery combined with the Eagle's increased defense for his copters. Maybe I'll show a calc if I'm feeling nice. But, so basically, pretty strong momentum early for Izanagi. Well prepared. I don't like how they're splitting the forces over here, though. I would have preferred, like, tanks and stuff down here. But you know, whatever. I guess it's a reactionary tank, you know, to see that recon, but you can just shift your artillery over and then it'll, like, just move that there and that recon's not going to attack. Like, you don't need a tank. It's gonna, you know, buzz off. It's not gonna get blasted by the artillery. So, but it smartly moves over here out of the artillery range because it can see it. Maybe I would have moved that artillery, like, lined up right here, but smart move by Tordread, weaving into the gaps in the artillery fire just to get the most out of every single unit. Like the early recons, I wouldn't be surprised to see some more recons from Tordread. Just like spam recons and tanks, like that's all you really need right here. Going for the double tank, I like that. So right now it's looking like pretty even. I think Izanagi actually has the income lead. It's great, which is pretty nuts. Starting to set up these artillery over here, but there's no real threat. Like, he's not gonna go for the comm tower. Like, that just doesn't make much sense. Starting to amass nice presence of artillery on the bottom over here. Shifting towards the middle, kind of moved all those forces away from the sides. Smart move. You don't want to put all your crap on the side here where it's useless. Builds a B-copter's grit. I don't really agree with that. I think your funds are better off spent somewhere else. Maybe you wanted more unit count to pop 2 infantry at the bottom. But I typically stay away from... I mean, it has an element of a surprise, but it's also very weak. I mean, I build B-copters as Drakes, so it's a little hypocritical of me, but if you're grit, you might as well just build more artillery. Just, like, forego that, build another artillery, go double arty this turn instead. But I guess you just really wanted the unit count. Artillery... recon on recon. Just, you hate to see it. But... pretty even so far, nothing unusual. Going for this contested property over here. It looks like the grit player, Izanagi, has not even gotten near the contested property for his over there. Starting to form a little bit of a infantry wall. Nascent form of an infantry wall. Recon on the top. Man, you see, I like the recons on the roads and stuff because it's like just terrible terrain. It's on the side and so some questionable moves on Izanagi's part, like that, also doesn't make much sense. Throwing your anti-air into the middle like that when you know they're probably going to have a lot of B-copters. Man, I keep saying T-copters. So he's making some very smart moves like the early anti-air and positioning, but at the same time, some other like boneheaded moves. Like, I don't agree with that. I guess if you throw in some anti-air, you can like punish the attack, but then it also, you don't have an anti... If you had an anti-air here, that would make sense. Because then you kill it and the anti-air comes and kills like the copter that thinks that it's safe. But that anti-air is already 2-3 turns away from the actual fight, so it's not going to really come into play. Neither is that B-copter or that T-copter. I don't know, I'm just going to say copters, okay? I'm tired of... my brain is dead. Firing off that artillery over there, just getting a nice pot shot off on the infantry. Although it is revealing where it is, so maybe it would have been better to keep it hidden a little bit longer. But I'm one of the type of players that would keep it hidden for a bit. See, the copter feels very safe right now because it saw that. But if you had another one as backup, that would make a lot more sense, throwing it off to kill a recon. But throwing it off to kill a recon and then get blasted doesn't really make as much sense. Although I guess that tank will get blasted to Kingdom Come by those artillery right there. See, aware of that artillery right now, but now we're getting to the critical moment of grid is getting very close to a CO power. So you have to be a little cognizant of that, because it's coming soon. But Tordread has a pretty decent army, decent amount of recons, and tanks and copters, just spamming copters seemingly every other turn, maybe even every turn. But it looks like a big battle is forming. So some units are definitely going to die now. Boom! Boom! Okay. Izanagi needs to be careful right here for infantry walls. I withdraw that 6 and attack with a full HP infantry because I don't think that's going to die to a 6. You also want to make sure you protect these artillery at all costs. Shifting all the way down towards the bottom, I like that. Getting that nice ball forming. Smart move. This one over here is kind of useless. I'd move it like right here, just barely in range of that over there, but that's just me. Moving all units basically that's the center over there. Boom, free infantry kill. Don't like that, overly aggressive. I mean, don't try to attack everywhere at once on the map. That's one of the main rules of Advanced Wars. Attack where you're strongest. Don't attack everywhere, because if you beat your opponent in the middle, that means they have more forces elsewhere, typically. So that's going to get punished and probably killed, probably very easily. And yeah, don't cap right there. Go for the kill. Cack with the recon, attack with the infantry, move this up here, have a nice infantry wall going on, a full HP infantry. That's a lot more stronger than going for a cap that doesn't really matter that much in the end. And now this is like a very glaring hole in an infantry wall, just 2 attacks and this infantry's dead, and then you have full access to those artillery over there. I don't really like that at all. That's probably going to get interrupted. That's definitely going to get interrupted. So I don't really like this infantry walling done by Izanagi. You need to be very good at infantry walling when you're doing grit. Also, mistake right there. Withdraw that attack with the full HP infantry, so you have the guaranteed kill on the tank over there. I do like the other anti-air, just spamming anti-air. I like that. I like the unit builds. I don't necessarily like where they're going. So hopefully this shifts down to the middle over there instead of going to the top where it's a little bit useless. So I think Tordread's going to break through that infantry wall if I had to guess. See, like that, I mean, I would attack with the tank first so you don't take infantry damage, but all the same, like, easy to kill. Then you can go on the mountain, also kill an infantry too. Like, even if there wasn't a glaring hole there would have been right there. So that's why you put the full HP infantry over there to kill, not just some random, yeah, there's easy hole right there. Another hole, just enormous holes. Let's see, that's even blocked in the end anyway. It didn't even matter. Going for those easy hits, boom, then put the tank on top of the city too. That's just brutal. Just bam, bam, bam. Just making Izanagi's wall look like shit. And it kind of was a little shitty, gonna be perfectly honest. I think that's his weakness so far, just bad wall making. But he's grit. So, and he's probably gonna have some counterplay. Look, he's got a charge power up. He could use, maybe he can hold on to it, maybe he can use the power. Typically when he plays grit, you want to use the CO power rather than the super CO power, because the super CO power gives you 1 additional range to the CO power, so 2 range overall, but it does not give you an additional firepower bonus. So typically you just want to go for the CO power because it gives you the firepower bonus and 1 range. Maybe if super snipe gave 2 range and double the firepower bonus, it'd be more viable, but in this current state, you typically just want to avoid using the super CO power. Just keep spamming the CO power as much as you can. So Tordread building more tanks, copters. Man, he's got a nice streak of copters going on. A lot of tanks going on. He knows what he's doing as Eagle versus Grit specifically. He clearly knows how to play against Grit. So he's playing pretty well so far. So now it's Izanagi's turn. Caps the property. Pulls off the snipe attack. Grit, CO power coming. I'll let the blasting do the talking. Blasting things over there. Man, these RTs are doing good. That's right, kill the vision too. You want to make sure you kill that infantry, grab your own vision, see where things are, get that infantry up there, get some attacks off. Nice, killing the vision of Tordread. Got a nice counterattack. It's going to probably give Eagle full charges a lot of damage, or close to it. Eagle started off with like over 30 units, so this is pretty brutal. Killing a lot of units. Yeah, I think he had like 32, 31. So he really knocked off a lot of units with that grid power right there. Damn. So it looked like he was on the defensive for a bit. Took a lot, like bad infantry roll, Eagle broke through, but like, damn, okay. So, seemed like he was in pain, but now look at the unit value and the unit count. Grid is winning both unit value and unit count, which is kind of crazy for a Grid player. You take that any day of the week. And now Tordread is forced to retreat. He's probably going to want to coalesce his forces and swell them up, and then use his superpower. So he's probably going to be more on the stally side than Izanagi, and Izanagi would need to be on the offensive, which is kind of weird as a Grit player to be on the offensive. But Izanagi also has some counterplay up here with his infantry that can cap some of those properties. Get ahead on the property lead, because we got pretty equal properties, but Grit is, like I said, winning the two most important measures. Unit count is king. And looks like not going on any offensive, kind of happy to let Eagle build up his forces, which is a little bit of a little worrisome. Another shitty infantry wall. You don't put a 6... Yeah, man, that's just not even an infantry wall. That's just a suicidal, like, infantry right there. I guess just really scared of the Eagle power, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. It looks like he's going to put some pressure on those properties over there. Maybe throw away another infantry out to get that tower again. Like, that's just not smart, though. So you got to be wary of that. Looks like we have some, you know, proliferation of forces right now. We don't really have any attacks going on. Put that in. But it looks like Izanagi's quietly trying to go for the sides. But like I said, that just doesn't make sense. Killing off of free infantry. Doing pretty damn good as a Grit player right now. After a little shaky start. And I mean, he had the good killing the B-copter with the artillery, or the anti-air rather. But after that, a little shaky with the infantry walls and whatnot, but kind of holding back together. I didn't even notice has a rockets now. I usually don't go rockets very much as Grit. Hell, you could even be able to pipe runner if you really wanted to meme on your opponent. It's not a bad, I mean, it's probably a bad idea, but it's kind of interesting. Building another B-copter, I don't like that. Like, the other one didn't do very much either. It's still alive, I guess, but like, I don't know. I think it's going to get, like, destroyed. If you attack first against an Eagle copter, I'm pretty sure the Grit copter loses. Even if you attack first with the first strike advantage, Eagle copter's going to win that one-on-one, so it just doesn't make sense. Might as well just keep building anti-air. So both are very content to, you know, sit on the sides over here. It looks like Izanagi's about to win an extra property and be ahead in all three counts. Unit income, unit count, unit value. So, looking pretty damn good for Grit. But Tordread has the Eagle superpower, the strongest CO power, super CO power in the game, excuse me. So Izanagi should not be sleeping soundly. He should be worried. He has a medium tank too, I guess is a nice wall. It's not really going to do much damage other than to sit there and block things, because tanks can't kill it. Copters can't really kill it that easily either, so it's a good wall. That copter is way overextended. It's going to get blasted by another copter, an Eagle copter that's much stronger. So I don't really agree with that. Kind of going down to the side over here. I wish he had everything in the center still. I don't like this little side excursion. Just go for the center, build everything to a nice blob, hope Tordread uses his superpower, and then punish it if it's not strong enough. This is a little interesting over here. I mean, it's working, and you have the income lead, but like, I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on it. I don't know. I don't like how it's splitting up the forces when you have a huge, massive Tordread units in the middle. Like, you have more units and more value, I understand, but you don't want to, like, basically throw that all away by splitting up your units for an Eagle superpower. Like, I don't know. It's a little shaky to me. We'll see what... Now he has... So now Tordread has the full Eagle superpower if he wants to choose to use it. Now let's see if he goes for it this turn. I would throw in the recon first just to get some vision, see if it's feasible first. Looks like he is not going to be using it this turn. Just happy to be chilling. Even though Grit has more income, more units, and more unit value, he's feeling very comfortable with his Eagle superpower. Because, you know, ooh, not a roll this time. I mean, is a roll, but it killed it. So, but, and then I guess going for the free kill of the copter, then, I mean, it's, you know, net gain of 1,000 funds, because, I mean, the B-copter costs more than the, whatever the hell that was, anti-air. Now kind of like hugging the pipe as a defensive measure, but kind of, you know, giving up the center a little more. I wish all these things at the bottom were all here in the center. That would have been so much better. But Izanagi getting a little greedy with the sides, trying to get those free properties. I mean, it worked at the top, but it's not going to work everywhere. You can't attack everywhere at once on the map. Trying to hammer that home. You need to focus on one area and focus on that area only. Don't need to focus on every single part of the map. You will not win every single battle on the map. So now Tordread killing that. Throwing in the recon. That means he's going to probably go for it. Get the vision. Knows what he's up against. Yep, it looks like Tordread is bringing in the forces. We got an Eagle superpower coming up. Blamblers. Yep, this is it, folks. And probably can cap these properties without any issue, too, because he's on the offensive on the same turn. Yeah, bringing everything in. Bring in the copters. Bring in all those copters. So many of them. Not even attacking on the first turn. He's just going for one attack, but it's going to be super strong. Building these units first so he can build infantry afterward. I like that. Smart move. And now let's see what the Lightning Strike did. The first stage of it didn't do as much damage as you typically see when you see an Eagle Lightning Strike. Typically you see 2 attacks, but it seems like this is all a setup for the final attack. Boom. Kills one already. Cripples that other one significantly. Murdering infantry. Oof. See, there's so many copters. You just got to target all these anti-air and they'll roam free. And that's the last, that is the last anti-air. So these copters are all going to live once he kills these. Well, this one's alive and crippled, but it's going to die. No chance that survives. Yeah, it's dead. As soon as I finish that sentence, it's dead. So all these copters are going to be fine and dandy. Oh man, they're going to have a field day. They're just going to be wrecking things. My god. So this is a devastating turn. Oh my gosh. Yeah, get the free cap over there. Ooh, just getting... Oh, so many good hits. And these 2 units have to get off the base too, so they can't really fire. Because they'll block the base for a turn. So that kind of sucks. That's the problem with the indirects. You have to like move them off a base, and they can't fire on the same turn unless they stay stationary. So, ooh man. These copters are... And these copters are here to stay for another turn too. And those 2 properties, this is a devastating turn. Izanagi started off with 41 units. I wonder how that's going to change when we shift to the other turn. It was 40 to 41. Let's see what it is now. 28. Damn, lost 13 units. Actually, not as bad as I thought. But look how crippled they are and how bunched up they are. And there's a bunch of angry copters going on. Izanagi's probably going to pop the power. Yep. Like I said earlier, don't typically pop the superpowers. Good. You just pop the power. Keep popping it. Pop, lop, and drop it. Pop, lop, and drop it. Apparently. My tongue is not working today. See, now he's going to have to overcompensate with all the anti-air, so I'm assuming he's going to build 2 anti-air at the bottom. He was good with the anti-air early, but now it's just not... Ooh, was that in range? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not in range. There you go. Got a little lucky there. Using the anti-air to kill recons seems to be a theme for Izanagi in this match. Let's see what the Grit defense can do over here. Boom. 1 tank dead. Boom. 2 tank dead. Okay. And that was about the biggest volley there was. Yeah, overcompensating with all the but still somehow ahead in the unit value after that huge devastating attack. I don't know how. It's got to be Grit. I just don't. Yeah, like wow. But he's about to lose this property here, probably eventually that property right there. So Eagle is now winning on terms of unit count. Still behind on value, ahead on count, soon to be tied, maybe shifting ahead in terms of income. But now those rockets, which are a lot of income tied down, are getting blasted. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, this hurts maybe even more than the first turn, because a lot of weakened units and like, ooh. Bye-bye rockets. Ooh. Man, this hurts. And the medium tank's probably dead too if that copter can sneak around. Oh, it can't. So that medium tank will be alive but very severely crippled. Man, and then you get that bottom property over there. Eagle is looking pretty dang good right now. But Izanagi does have another power coming up. So might get another power popped, but damn, this past 2 turns, like the Eagle Lightning Strike, he loved waiting for that. Like, Izanagi just let him build up. He's like, I'm great, I'm defensive. But he had his units too spread apart. And then Tordread basically destroyed the middle section, and the 2 sides were like, oh shit. And then they're trying to come to the side, it's into the center, but it's too late. At least Grit's getting some free kills off with the indirects. Killing that copter. Looks like he can trap this copter as well if he puts his unit down at the bottom. So that might be really good for him. Yeah, still getting some free kills off with the... man, still ahead after all that shit. Behind in unit count, still ahead on unit value. Just because it's Grit. Just get away with so much crap as Grit. Going triple RD? No, double RD and then anti-air. Because a little still reactionary with the anti-air. Just like, I think those Eagles copters caught him off guard. Blocking in this copter right there, it's probably dead. Unless there's some sort of escape idea that Tordread has. So if I'm Tordread right here, I probably would retreat a little bit. You're kind of too far in the belly of the beast. Retreat your units and then, you know, capitalize on the fact that you have more income now. You have more units right now. But it looks like he's just going all in. So that might backfire with Grit because he's so close. He's pushing on the 2-base side. This is not pushing on the weak side. This is pushing deep into the strong side of Izanagi. I feel like this is not going to end well for Tordread. It's very ballsy. A lot of those copters are probably going to die to anti-air too, but he's still doing a lot of damage. So it's, you know, he's just going for all the properties. He's not swinging towards the middle. He's going all in on the strong side, which I don't quite agree with. I mean, he's feeling good. He's feeling cocky. Did a lot of damage. I mean, it's got to feel good to have such a strong lightning strike and follow-up attack afterward. So I sort of understand that, but you know, you gotta do the L. It's kind of like you're in the game. You push hard, and then you take the L in the middle, and then you take the middle. You don't go deep, deep, deep. You go doop, left turn, right turn, whatever. Take the L, not take the loss. Take the L as go in the center. That's what you should do. That's like a lot of maps can be explained, and then just that simple premise. You push into your opponent's place, take a few properties, and then hook a L. So now let's see what Izanagi. He's probably going to punish Tordread's overextension. Kills off one copter. Going to kill off another copter. Killed off this one, or close to killing off this one. Smart, because this one is essentially trapped. All these indirects are killing things. I would have killed that with the artillery, but I guess he doesn't. I guess his rockets can't really reach anything important anyway, so might as well. That copter is still alive. A great copter. You hate to see it. And another great copter. I don't like the grit copters. Some of these moves by Izanagi are definitely boneheaded. I mean, it's entertaining, but it's like, what are you doing with grit copters? Like, that could be better spent so much else. Like, that should not be an infantry. That should be an artillery. Like, what else? Pushing on the top over here, though. So not content with by being behind on the income. Kind of needs to swing this back in his favor. So definitely trying to reclaim the top. Seems to be a theme for Izanagi up here, fighting on this top. Likes doing the two fronts. Doesn't like doing one big front like Tordread does. I like doing one big front, usually in the center as well. But Izanagi's fighting, I mean, Tordread's fighting back on Izanagi's front at the top, so it's not really working. Now the copters are retreating. They realize they're way overextended. They're in the belly of the beast. There's a lot of anti-air. There's a lot of indirects. There's a lot of everything. Need to get away. Shift towards the center. It's time to take that L turn. Tordread's still building the light, cheap units, the tanks. Triple tanking it this turn. Let's see what Izanagi's got to do right here. He's fighting back. Still going to get that free copter kill right there. Don't think he gets another copter kill. Can finally start pushing his units. That rocket's still scared, so it's hiding there in the forest. Ooh, good. It did get the kill. I think that was a nice roll for Izanagi. He's got his superpower ready. He's got it. I mean, it's going to be a normal power he's going to use, but he's got some powers ready if need be. Still behind on the unit count. Still ahead in the unit value. That's one thing I just don't understand. It's got to be it's just how Grid's overpowered. But Tordread has another lightning drive, and that has got to terrify Izanagi. Another lightning drive. Izanagi's going to want to use his super snipe. He's got to use his power, superpower, whatever he needs to do. He needs to do that before Tordread uses his lightning drive, or it's game over. You need to cripple that thing before it even happens. So Izanagi's got to be like, okay, I need to go in the offensive. I need to do damage right now. I cannot allow Tordread to have a seamless lightning strike. He barely survived one. I don't think he's going to survive another unless he cripples it first. Now it looks like Tordread is... Oh, he's pulling the L. He's coalescing in the middle now. Oh, I'm sweating if I'm Izanagi. Tordread's not overextending. He learned his lesson. He is not overextending over here. He is bunching up in the middle. And Izanagi doesn't have anything to shoot at to stop the superpower first. So he's got to chase the units. I mean, he's killing off the units over there, but... Like I said earlier, this is why Grid's not that powerful in this map. He has all these units over there. They did a great job. How do you shift them to the center? They got tires, they got 5 movement, you know, rockets, artillery. They're slow. It's hard to shift them. And then when you do shift them, they're very vulnerable. If I just shift a rocket over here on the road, it could be killed by a recon. You have to be careful. You have to have walls surrounding them. You have to have vision to make sure that you don't get trapped by something. It's just very difficult. They don't have their own vision. You rely on recons for vision. You rely on maybe even anti-air for vision, which don't even have that much vision. It just kind of, it's hard to shift your indirect units. And I think Tordread knows that. He shifted all his units in one turn. He moved his tanks, his copters, whatever. He's already in the middle. It's going to take Izanagi to get like 3 turns, 4 turns to get that rocket in the middle. Let's be honest here. And then over here, too, it's just like, he's on the sides, and Tordread's like, boom, right up the middle. It looks like he's aiming for the HQ, if I had to guess. Because I don't really see much else that would be interesting in the middle. Throwing in a recon over there just to get vision, see what he's up against. Still sees that Izanagi has some forces down at the bottom. Oh my goodness, look at this blob. This is turning into a death ball for sure. Look at that. Jesus. That's got to be like 100,000 worth of units right there. Jesus. Head on unit count. The most important. Now they're equal on unit value, so Tordread is winning on every single front right now. So Izanagi's gotta punch him. He's got to give him a black eye before he can get off that superpower, or it is game over. It's G Jizzle. It's game. It's good game. It's G Jizzle. It's good guy. He's got to do something. He's uncharacteristically for grit. He's got to do something on the offense. He's got to start smashing things quick, which it fits Izanagi's character as like a smashing person, but like. And he's retreating over here, too. It's like everything's just so spread out and dispersed. You need to have a death ball around over here. Like, I don't like that. Like, the positioning, the unit composition makes sense for Izanagi. He had great composition. He had good anti-air. He had good recons. It was all great. But the composition, the infantry walls, and the location of the units just doesn't mesh. If you're grit, you need to have everything bunched up. Even if you just have one artillery here and everything else here, one artillery will hold down your comm tower. Like, it's not a big deal. So, and if they go too far over here to the comm tower anyway, like, it'll be overextension. But now Tordread is like, okay. Slowly, very slow, methodical push. He's like, I'm Eagle. Whatever. Who gives a shit? I'll take my time. Ain't no rush. I got a lightning strike. Yeah, Izanagi's got to be... What? Now moving over here. Like, see, you can't go over here and here because Tordread will just shift all his units up here and destroy. If you hide over here and you go over here, he'll just shift all these units over here and destroy all those. That's why the middle's so important. You can just choose one side to annihilate, so Izanagi has to back off both sides, because if he extends one, Tordread will destroy it. If he extends one, the other, it'll destroy it. If he sends both, then he destroys one, uses the lightning strike, and then destroys the other. So Izanagi's in a pretty tough situation right now. But he has the grit super snipe, so it is grit. Okay, so anything's possible. I don't like his positioning. He's building a missiles right now. He's probably gonna plop it in that forest over there. Maybe even a pipe runner. Like, this is getting nuts. But Tordread extending that income lead. Oh, now he's at 2,600. And then all these tanks and stuff are coming in. Oh, he's looking at the HQ. The HQ is literally right there. Izanagi, is a super snipe worth it here? Do you kill enough? Like, I think you need to use it just to kill off some units. Because the lightning strike is definitely coming next turn. This infantry can taste that HQ. There's multiple infantry that are in range. There's 4 infantry in range of capturing that HQ. Izanagi has got to use the power right now. Got to. No chance. You gotta. Okay, now he's the super. All right, let's see what he can do with it. Kills a tank. Boom. Kills another tank. Boom. Kills another tank. Boom. 3 tanks dead. Not bad start. 4 tanks dead. Okay, not bad. Boom, boom, boom. Copters coming in. Weakening off the infantry. Boom, another recon dead. Not bad. Okay, not bad. Crippling. 4 tanks. Recon. Pretty decent. Weakening the infantry. I kind of like that. See, like, giving him a black eye before Tordread can use his super, because his super is happening this turn. No questions asked. That super is coming. So let's see what he can do with the super. Boom. Still doing a lot of damage even before the super. And that rocket, it's in the forest, but it's sort of exposed. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that HQ is not surviving. Boom. Boom. Oh, man, and the vision, too. Now he sees everything. He sees all the stuff coalescing over there. Probably like, I don't want to go up there. I'll just focus down here. Oh, man. Boom, boom. Oh, and the copter. And the copter. And another copter. Oh, this is going to be a brutal lightning strike. Oh, man. Let's see what happens here. Boom. Boom. It doesn't see the rocket yet. Time to cap. Oh, boy. This is what you're terrified as, Grid. An HQ cap. And these copters. Does he have enough anti-air? He's got 1 anti-air that's weakened. 2 over here that aren't even in range. Oh, you hate to see it. Ooh. Ooh, man. These copters are doing so much work this game. Like, Grit was prepared for them with anti-air, but he wasn't prepared for 6 freaking copters. You know what I mean? Like, he was good with the anti-air the whole game, but it doesn't really matter. The whole game. Man, my voice cracked. But like, just protect the HQ at this point, I guess. Just like block around, have something. Can he? Yeah, he has the rocket. He's got it on lock. So he's not going to cap the HQ at least. But this is scary. Tordread is basically going all in now. He did a lot of damage. He's going all in. He's got 43 units to 25 units. But if he fails on this, he might lose, actually, to be perfectly honest. Because Izanagi has a very stout defense. Missiles, artillery. He's in the belly of the beast near the 2 base and the 1 base in the middle. So he's really overextending. But, like, if he captures the HQ, it won't even matter. So, and he's got rocket over here, artillery over here, shooting it down. So, it doesn't look like the HQ is going to be capped at this point. So, and he's ahead on unit value after that. All of that. Like, see, the counterattack by Grid is so freaking strong. You can't deny it. Like, just like that, Grid's back in it. He kills all these copters and stops the HQ cap. He can go on to win. So, Tordread is all in. You need to be all in at this point. Oh, God. And then you got a CO power coming. So, Tordread is probably like, yeah, I gotta go for the cap. Just kill everything that can stop the cap. Kill the copters, kill the anti-air, whatever's in the way, just kill it. Yeah, there you go. Kill off this, kill off the rocket, and then what else can shoot the HQ? That's probably his MO right there. Whatever, like, I'll kill all my units, I don't care. Like, all these things are gonna die to anti-air. Anti-air's gonna kill at least 3-4 copters this turn. 4 copters if you include the missiles as well. So 4 copters gonna die. 2,800. No, that's not right. 36,000. Because each copter is 9,000. Yeah, 36,000. So that's a lot of... and that's just the anti-air. So, and that's before the artillery starts shooting. So he's all in. So we better hope that that HQ cap works. He's all in. And you know how much I like HQ caps. Let's see if it holds. Because we got a super snipe coming. Or, I'm not sure if a superpower coming or normal CO power is coming. But now it's the moment of truth. Well, now it's time to see if Izanagi can solve the puzzle. He needs to inflict at least 5 damage to that infantry in the center on the HQ. So let's see if he can solve the puzzle. Like I said, kill off the free, easy copters first. He's struggling with vision, though. That's a really big issue. I don't think he only has 1 recon over there. So he doesn't really see much. So he's building up his charge. Killing the copters probably to get a super snipe, if I had to guess. Yep, super snipe. Okay, let's see. What is in range? Nothing's in range of the HQ. It has to be a... Oh, God. That's not looking good for Izanagi. That's not looking good. I don't see how he gets through without an indirect... Oh, whoa, he got really... Is that tank gonna reach? No, I don't think it will. Oh, it did reach! Knocked it down to 5... Oh, shit. He actually did it. He stopped the cap. What the hell? Oh, it's not... Oh, okay. Well, the show goes on. Izanagi is alive for another turn, but now Tordread is probably going to reinforce it, popping the normal power for the extra 10% defense and offense, I suppose. Very strange. Just really hammering home this is an all-in for Tordread. Tordread has to win here. He is behind on unit value now, and he's slowly losing a lot of units to all this barrage of indirects. So he can't afford to lose here. He needs to... He's starting to make another puzzle for Izanagi. Try to confuse him. Kill off all his vision. He needs to kill off that recon for sure. To make sure that Izanagi has no idea where to attack and how. Oh, nothing. Still no indirects in range. This is going to be tough. I don't know how Izanagi solves this puzzle. Without any power this time? I'm not seeing it. Yep, and just like that, he resigns. Let's see, does it show the death counter? Let me check. Let's go to the stats. Will it show me stats? Oh, that's a shame. But basically, that was a nuts game. As you probably learned from the match, Eagle is actually the more stally of the two COs. I wanted to keep it a secret, but Eagle is the most stally of all COs. He is the stally king. Grit is stally, Eagle's stallier. You need to go on the offensive with Grit, which is kind of uncomfortable to Grit players, which kind of makes it a little bit of a hard matchup for Grit. This is not a matchup you typically want to see as Grit. Grit would have preferred an CO that has to come to him, fighting him on his terms, but instead he had to go up against Eagle. And he had all three winning categories of winning. He had the most units, had the most income, had the most unit value. But then the Eagle superpower came, and that got smashed. That got ruined. Poor infantry walling on certain turns by Izanagi that I... See, he had to fall back over here in the side because of the poor walling. Like, if his walling was good here, he would have had all his units still over here. And if he stopped building up so much over here, Tordread never would have even made it past there, and he probably would have won, to be perfectly honest. But he dispersed his units too much, and the walling was just kind of shitty. No offense. Actually, I mean, I don't know. He's a great player, but the infantry walling was just too shoddy. And Tordread was able to easily take advantage of that. Even here, it's kind of crappy. But especially in the early turn, like, Grit, just because he's OP, was able to punish Tordread even for a great calculated move that makes sense. You break the wall, you destroy a lot of units, but he's Grit, and he was able to punish him for that, which is kind of weird. But yeah, that just shows you that this is the map. The center is what matters, as you saw. That's why Grit's not great. Max is king on this map because center matters the most. Grit won the sides, you know. Great for him. There's mountains, there's forest. Secure the HQ, the comm tower over here. You know, held the defense over here. Never was able to get the comm tower over here, no matter. Even though he tried like 2-3 times. But the center is what really matters. The center would matters in most games, to be perfectly honest. You can't really forego it. You need to control these mountains for vision. Izanagi lost control of both mountains for his vision towards the end when he was going for the HQ. Didn't know where units were anywhere. Couldn't really fire unless he like sacked a recon. Was covered, you know, hidden over here. So it's just nuts battle. I like seeing these long 28-day game, 2 stally COs, just nuts. I hope you guys learned a lot from this match about overextension. Tordread almost got punished and lost for it, but realized his mistake. Coalesced the center, then pushed for the final winning HQ. Pushed very smart. He recalculated. He didn't just boneheadedly like, this didn't work, try again. Like, no. Okay, recalculate. Go for the center, control that. Then push for the HQ with lightning strike and momentum. Good game. Instead of just pushing deeper into the belly of the beast. So I like that a lot. Smart move by Tordread. Well played by Tordread. Well played by Izanagi. A few things he could have, you know, cleaned up, but I still think he played pretty damn well. Held off a very top-tier Eagle player in Fog for a long time, and that kind of showed. Held it, you know, really close, too. Like, the unit value was, you know, neck and neck for such a long time, or ahead as Grit. So, just a crazy game. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. I'll see you back when I'm in the States. So, until next time, peace, y'all.